I'm so sick of the lies when it comes to Social Security. It drives me insane. So I just watching this video by some guy, I'm not going to say his name, but it's weird, man. It's almost like AI voiceover, and then he's got these cartoons and stuff, and he's talking about the average retirement income for retirees or so, I can't remember this. And then he conflates averages and median halfway through. It's just, you can't, the difference between average and median, you can't conflate, it's so frustrating to me. And the guy gets views, man. And I'm not here to bash the guy. I'm just like, Anyway, so his point, and everyone does this, and it freaking drives me insane, that Social Security, the origin of Social Security was a supplement retirement income. Nothing could be further from the truth. That's simply not true. The origin of Social Security is not to supplement retirement income. You know why? Because very, very few people had retirement income back then. Very few people did. You had a couple executives who might have had some investments, but no one else did. Average workers certainly didn't have investments. A few might have had a whole life insurance, but that was it. And the only reason they had that was so if they died, their wife could put them in the ground and give them a little bit of income. But that was it, man. In fact, the reason for Social Security was to get older workers off the payroll. Because remember, back then in 1935, there's 25% unemployment. If you just read the congressional record, read what FDR wrote, read what Eleanor Roosevelt wrote, read what Francis, who was the head of the Department of Labor, I can't remember her last name, read what there's another lady, University of California Law School, I'm going to say her name is Barbara, but I forgot her, I want to say Hamilton, but I don't think that's it. Read what, and she was big in enacting Social Security. Read what they had written. They had written this stuff. It's not debatable. And what it says is very explicitly, we have to get older people out of the workforce so younger people who are aggressive and agitated can find work. Because if younger people don't find work, guess what? Bad things happen. Riots, revolution happens. Oh, don't forget, this is the same time where Ford Motor Company and other firms are moving to Moscow to start facilities, manufacturing facilities in Moscow, because they thought communism was winning. They thought the land of milk and honey was in Moscow in the Soviet Union because of communism. In fact, I told you another book about, I referenced the other day, my man Victor Herman. His dad had moved. Ford worked at a Ford manufacturing plant in Detroit, and they moved to Moscow to start a Ford plant there. And ultimately, bad things happened to Victor. We got sent to Siberia and whatnot. He just basically escaped with the skin of his mouth, the skin of his teeth. Horrible, horrible things. And he was a famous guy in the Soviet Union, too. Anyway, the point being was, this is how bad it was back then. It looked like communism was winning. 25% unemployment, tons of young people, the agitated group who are aggressive, can't find work. All this stuff is happening. And one of the reasons is because the old people said, what am I going to do? I don't have any money. I can't quit my job. I have no money. And what these labor unions did, they start these convalescent homes and send them to convalescent homes. Obviously, we're still, like a Catholic family, we would take care of grandma and grandpa and stuff. But a lot of these people had no place to go, nothing to do. They said, I'm just going to keep working. I got no money. And so what Social Security did gave them a basic living expense, basically to afford rent, to afford chicken every pot. But that was it. They didn't have it wasn't a supplemental. It was absolutely a way to get older workers off the payroll and to give them some kind of money that they could spend because they didn't have any. They had none. The idea of Social Security is one leg of the three-legged stool is so freaking stupid. I mean, it might be now, but it certainly wasn't back then. No one had pensions. I mean, few people had pensions. Very, very few people had pensions. Give me a break, dude. No one had pensions. No one had personal savings. They would work until they died, or they'd work until they get thrown out on their. Just read the record of the congressional research. It shows you time and time again how Johnny would not leave, even though he's absolutely incompetent. And there's a guy at GE said, I couldn't fire Johnny because he's been here for so long, and I know he's incompetent, but what's he going to do? He's got no money. I couldn't fire him. I had to keep him on the payroll. Unfortunately, by keeping him on the payroll, I was not able to hire somebody else who could do the job. This is the reality of Social Security. The reality was there to provide a basic level of living, 100%. It wasn't there to supplement anything. There was nothing to supplement. Just do your research, man. I'm just so sick of it. Social Security is designed to supplement your income. What income? What income? Your pension. What pension? Anyway, I'm so sick of these lies. So any time you hear the lies, just say, no. If they start saying this stuff, say, no, that might be what it is now, but it wasn't the way it was originated. It wasn't. And people who say that, you just don't know what the hell they're talking about. All right, God bless.